Hello everybody, welcome back to Dream Teams. It's been a bit of a while, but we are back with a bang. ChrisMD in the house. I've wanted this one for a while because I've wanted to chat football with you. Me and Chris play on Shoreditch. We sort of play. I just kick his ankles for hours on end.
Yeah, light up Shoreditch.
Yeah, but yeah, you're clearly a cracking footballer, and so I just wanted to kind of see which players have inspired you along the way. And this team, honestly, guys, this team, I say it every time, but every time there's always like 3 or 4, and I'm looking at it and I'm just going, what's he done here? Like, what? There's got to be some kind of
that have meant the most to me. You know, like for whatever reason, I've got to pick the players that have, their sort of legacy have stuck with me over the years.
Sure. Right, let's do this then. So the formation 4-3-3.
Yeah, I've gone 4-3-3.
Okay, I'm not sure I totally get that either. I think you could play a mad 4-4-2 if you wanted to. But there's also there's players here that I'm intrigued to know the positioning, like who's on the left, who's on the right of your front three as well.
Well, I haven't set this team up to play. I don't want to be managing this team in a game, hypothetically or not, anytime soon. Yeah,
and I wouldn't want to be deciding who takes free kicks as well, which is what I kind of expected. But that's great. That's great. Let's dive into it then, mate. Let's go. Let's start with your goalkeeper. Tell the people who, of all the goalkeepers in the world, one that you've chosen.
I have gone with Gordon Banks.
What?
I had to. I had to.
Why? He stopped playing in 1977.
Yeah, but in terms of the keepers that meant the most to me, like that bit of commentary of the Pele save, I've used it in so many videos over the years. It used to get like, it's in the 3 Lion song, that used to get played every summer. Every time I went outside and kicked a ball, essentially, I had to put him in there. Probably the greatest save ever.
So that's interesting to go down then. So Gordon Banks the player, like, sure, fine, he's great, like, and rest in peace, all that stuff.
He's great.
He's great. But it's kind of not about it. Is it more about the use of a clip of him in your videos? Why have you chosen?
Yeah, it's about the. I'm questioning myself now. Yeah, it's about the sort of the legacy of that save against Pele. As an England goalkeeper against who was the best player that has ever lived until probably Lionel Messi came along. It just that save was just replayed and commentaries replayed, and someone growing up in English, from Jersey, so I guess some people say that doesn't count, but we all support England there. It was just that's just a folklore moment for me.
Yeah, so fair enough.
That's why he has to be.
He is one of there are certain players like from back in the day that obviously you didn't see, and obviously you understand that the game is different, but I do want, like, Gordon Banks did look a level above. Like, I have seen some of the games, like I watched a bit of the World Cup final back, and honestly, it is a different sport. Like, it is
so different. Well, he's playing. I swear, like half the games he's playing with no gloves, right? I swear, there's most of the tournaments that just barehanded and stuff. It is. So you don't realize the game's changed quite as much as it has really since then. Totally. But like I say, when you watch a full 90 minutes and you're like, Jesus.
But you're not even. I saw it on Twitter. There's like a compilation, and it's just goalkeepers kicking it out of their hands. And because goalies just don't do that anymore. Like they just.
Is that like the 90s football page? I follow a few of those. Like 90s. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, and because I remember seeing that and thinking, oh god, yeah, because like now, like even a goal kick, don't even take goal kicks these days. Just sort of roll it to the centre back. It's crazy.
Yeah, the classic. Yeah, that image of a keeper just running forwards and absolutely walloping it. Like, you don't really. Yeah, that's very true, actually. Wow, game's gone.
Game's gone, indeed. Right, let's move into your back four. Let's start with the right back just to really ram this one home. Who is your right back? It does get better, guys. It does get better.
To be honest, I think I've slightly gone with memorable moments, to be fair.
Okay, this is fine, because this is what we try and establish with Dream Teams is what actually is important to you when it comes in football. That's the sort of subplot that's going on. So as much as like, there's these players and those players, and this next one is, I mean, name a club he played for before we say his name. Can you name a club he played for? No, but that's okay. If it's moments, it's moments. Go on, tell us your right back.
My right back is Carlos Alberto. largely just because of the goal of the World Cup final.
Big fan of the 70 World Cup, were you?
yeah, big fan of it. I mean, it's just it's like one of the best goals ever. Like, it's just, the way also the ball stays above the ground as he hits it, like it's just so nice. So we also like my Sunday league team. There's a clip on my channel. Sorry, this is just a plug to my channel, but there's like a video.
I don't think you need it.
Somewhere back on the day of my channel. Yeah, go subscribe. Where like my Sunday league team accidentally recreated Carlos Alberto's. It's not the same, but like we're watching it, and we used to video our games like back when I was like under 14 or whatever. Not in a weird way, just in like, we used to film our games, and we suddenly realized like this move was exactly the same as the Brazil 1970, and then like the finish is not at all the same, but you put it side by side, and it's like we're basically the best Brazil team there's ever been.
It was a great goal. I think the thing that was iconic about it as well is the fact that he was the captain, wasn't he? He lifted a trophy for them. If you were wondering, 743 games, 64 goals. So I didn't mind a goal. But that one, I love the fact that he came out of nowhere. He's not actually in shot. Pele kind of does the nonchalant little pass to the right, doesn't he? And then Alberto's
and he just
from
steams
nowhere.
on it.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's just so powerful as a hit, isn't it?
So true. He had a bit of a managerial career. I'm trying to remember where he was. I think he managed Azerbaijan. That's it. He was manager of Azerbaijan. I remember seeing his face.
Yeah, I took that into account. I'm a big fan of the Azerbaijani national team. I thought you
might. Yeah, so. Some sort of representation. That's good. That's great.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Let's keep going. I love these next two picks. And let's save the random one. Let's go with the captain, leader, legend first of all.
Yeah. So I've gone centre back. First centre back is Tony Adams. We'll start off strong in the centre back partnership. So Tony Adams, I mean, you don't really need to say too much about it. Just Arsenal player.
When did you start watching Arsenal?
I'm trying to think what my first memory of Arsenal is. What I feel like my first memory of Arsenal is actually Rooney's goal against us for Everton. The one where literally his debut.
Yeah. When did you start playing?
I think football at age 1.
Yeah,
my parents used to stick me in like a bouncy thing.
All right.
Yes, like my dad would just kick footballs at me, and I'm just there, like quite a fat little baby. He's just unable to move, but doing a good job as a goalkeeper.
Like the opposite of Rotashaw and his mum, like just kicking at her baby.
Yeah. It's like that footage of that dad just whacking a ball at his son's face. Tony Adams. I did actually meet him as well a few years ago at an Arsenal match. And he was a very lovely man, which made all the better, because when you meet someone and they turn out to be, well, I actually haven't really met any footballers. Just
that's not true.
Wanting me to say, go on, name them.
Yeah.
But I haven't actually met anyone who's a total arsehole. So Tony Adams, just out of the big legends at Arsenal, he's got to be right up there.
Yeah, I remember. So obviously, I'm so much older than you, it's frightening. And Tony Adams was a real hero of mine because, like, I sort of I've never done my team on Dream Teams, and I really will have to do it. But my thing is captains. I like captains.
Yeah.
And Tony Adams was one of the first where I was like, oh, you can see he's different. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's certain players. So a great example, I think, and I just think it just beams through him, is Jude Bellingham. I think he's a captain. Like, I just think it's just so obvious. Do you know what I mean? And Tony Adams was a captain from the age of 21, and I saw him at Euro '96. And then I remember reading his book and the fact that the alcoholism that he sort of had to deal with and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so for him to carry on and keep going, and I guess so you would have got him right at the sort of tail end of his career, and he was one of the few that kind of kept that English spine around all the quality that you had, right?
Yeah, I don't even know if I have memories of him playing, to be honest. Like, I remember him as... I actually do. I'm just saying that. So
yeah, you're just killing me right now.
I'm not sure if I have... I feel like he must have played in the DreamWorks shirt. Dreamcast.
Yeah, Dreamcast. Yeah, he did. What's that, 2002?
And I don't know. 2000. I feel like 2002 was when I first had memories of football. But I don't actually have that many memories of Tony Adams.
Yeah. No, I understand that. Okay.
So a bit of a rubbish pick, really.
No, it's good. It's a great pick. Tony Adams is never a bad pick. Even just to like talk about he scored a goal in 1998. If you haven't seen that goal, there's a bit of homework for you. Just type in Arsenal 4-0 Everton, and he scores a goal. And a question for the comments, guys, actually. So he scores the 4th goal in the game that they win at Highbury to win the league. And I'm not sure to this day. He just goes on this run, and Steve Bold plays this pass, and he hits this ridiculous left foot volley from outside the box, I think it is. And it's just not Tony Adams. It doesn't make sense. But he'd kind of gone through a lot, and obviously that moment had happened. And I don't know if he just looks to the sky and like takes in the glory, or if the sun hits him in the face. I still don't know. I'd love to get Tony Adams on Dream Teams to like ask him that question.
It's the statue outside the Emirates, it's the arms up.
That's it. And I still don't know if he's just honestly like basking in the glory, or if the sun hits him, or it's just a bit of both. But I love it. I can watch that goal.
It's such a lovely moment of peace, isn't it?
Yes, that's a great way to put it. It's sort of peace and glory, and he's there, and it's over. That's amazing. That's what winning's about. Right, your other centre back. This is great. I had to get the Wikipedia on this guy. Go for it.
What? Really?
I know him. I remember him.
Aware of his.
I just wanted to know how many games do you think he played for Arsenal? Have a guess.
48.
63 in a 4-year span.
Oh, I'm not too far off. He played in the Invincible season. I know that.
So let the people know.
My other centre back is Pascal Segan, absolute legend of the game. I know this guy's in there because he was probably like, I'm not sure whether it was just in my group of friends and like my family, because I feel like he scored a few own goals for Arsenal, and it just became a thing. Like every time anyone scored an own goal, it was just cited as like they were called Pascal Segan. Then after that, so this guy was just, in terms of like footballers' names that got shouted across the football pitches that I played on, he was right up there, and that's why he's in my team.
So as a meme lover, he was one of the first sort of like meme,
he basically names. I'm sorry, Pascal, I'm sure you're watching very
no, it's a big fan
right now, but I'm sure he is. He scored. I'm sure I remember one own goal he scored in like the Championship.
He's sort of in that like Senderos era, wasn't he?
Senderos was close to making the team, I must say. Yeah, he had a couple of crackers.
Yeah, I remember that. Johan Djourou. That was when it sort of started to kind of like drift off that way. 18 games in the Invincible season. Era. So I did get involved a bit, which is good.
Somehow.
And so he's 47 now. Amazing. He went to Villarreal, which that Arsenal and Villarreal just have like a weird little connection,
don't we?
Because I was thinking, because when I did a preview on Villarreal recently, it's North London as well. They've got Coquelin, they've got Foyth, they've got Capoue. They had, what's his name? Cazorla. They had Pires.
Did they have Soldado that went after Spurs?
Yeah, they were Soldado as well. Yeah, it's mad. But yeah, he went and played with Pires and went off to Villarreal. From 2002 to 2009, he got to 99 games. It's a good life. That's a good life.
Oh boy. Yeah.
One question that was in my mind was, when you talk about the memes in your videos, what is the greatest sort of like football meme that you kind of have probably used along the way? Is there one that just is a go-to for you all the time and has remained throughout?
I don't I have to use new ones, because after a few years and you use them too much, like the one I use the most is probably the Cheers Jeff. I used to use that so much. It just got to the point where it's just not even funny, but I was still putting it in. I was like, I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm still going to do it. So that was probably the one. But I like, these days we have, I've got like a guy that like sort of researches them and gives us like a pool of
really
videos and stuff.
That's amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah, so it got too much because like I was having to think, okay, like what's been like something I've seen on Twitter this week. And it's just way better to get someone to do the hard work and then
I guess like edit's enough, isn't it? Like wasting your time trying to think and find memes. It's just probably
exactly.
So both Arsenal centre backs, nice, good representation. A lot of people will want these Arsenal players, and there are a few left over. Left back, who's your left back?
My left back is Roberto Carlos, gone with a strong Brazilian fullback, and then Arsenal in the middle. Roberto Carlos really just. I mean, is there too much debate that he's the best left back ever?
That's a good question. There'll be someone go. There's some knob. There'll be
someone will have just punched his TV. Yeah, his
well, no, there'll be some pernickety knob who go in and say Robertson. Like, don't do it. Yeah, I know he's great. I love him. I'm wearing a Scotland shirt right now, but he's not better than Roberto Carlos. Yeah, well, I mean, he won it all, didn't he? For one. Yeah, he was pretty good. How big of an impact I guess, when did you see the free kick? Because obviously you wouldn't have seen it at the time.
No,
like when it sort of came around, found you.
A lot of mine are just based on like these one moments that happened in their career. But yeah, I definitely used to try I mean, everyone did. Everyone used to try the free kick, just playing around with their mates, didn't they?
Have you ever caught it right?
I did. I hit one when I was practicing by myself. That I made Kevin De Bruyne sit and react to once, which was an interesting experience. I feel like he gave me a 10 out of 10 on that one, actually. Nice. Although there wasn't a keeper, so I think he had to mark me down for that. But it's so difficult, like just keeping it down, because getting the curl is okay, but it's so difficult getting your head over it so it doesn't go over the bar, and like it's quite easy to. But you've got to be careful, because some people just hit it outside of the foot, and it's like, that's not what he did. He hit it, on the laces with his leg coming across the ball, so it hits so hard, and it's stupid.
So what I always think with that goal is like, what the thought process. To be, I know it was Le Tournoi, which was this weird tournament with. Like,
it wasn't a real tournament, was it? Right?
No, it was like this fake one, which England won. So we were kind of like, no, it's real, but it wasn't. It was like, I think it was Italy. I want to say France, Brazil, and us. I think maybe I'm wrong. Even though I guess maybe that allowed him to have that little bit more fun, but like the audacity to like, I mean, I don't know if it's audacity, but like the freedom. Like, he kind of played with that freedom. There's quite a few of his goals that are sort of like that, where he's just gone and tried something without kind of thinking about it. That's something that sort of saddens me a little bit with modern football, is that everyone is so well drilled that sometimes you're kind of missing that little like moment of stuff like that, which I think that sings to you a little bit, because like you're talking about, it is about these moments. Like, that's kind of what your videos are a lot of the time as well. There's there's stuff that's on the chopping room floor because you're working in that. If you saw
the original footage, my videos are very much about the moments you see and not about the ones that you don't see. Yeah,
well, that's it. And Roberto Carlos, I can imagine why you would like him, because he did that, but he was also like really, really good as well. But like, you need that.
Yeah, just going back to your point, saying that how in the modern day players are so drilled, you don't see that. I think I see it with Arsenal players all the time. Like, a young player will break into the team, they'll be really attacking, they'll try and dribble past people, they'll really go for it, and then you can see that they're just sort of like not wanting to lose it. Because I feel like once they've sort of tasted fans getting on their back a bit, it just feels like it's in their mind, and they don't try to go for it as much. But that's why I really like Saka as an Arsenal player. Little tangent, but yeah, like, he really does go for it. But we've had quite a lot of players that have come in, done really well, and then like just taking the easy option all the time, and it's like, it's
tough, isn't it? Because I think that's the thing. That's what I'm getting really frustrated with that at the moment with football, where kind of people are just like abusing people because it's not going well right now. Like, no footballer's not trying, and no footballer doesn't want to get it right. Yeah. It blows my mind. It honestly blows my mind.
It's incredible that people think that footballers just aren't trying. Like, these are like the best people out of everyone in the world that plays football. Why would they not be trying?
Well, and also, I don't know. Yeah, it's outrageous. I did. This is going to age really badly, but just because it's been like whenever this will come out. But I had to do Sky Sports News, and they were talking about Stan Collymore saying that if Dele Alli hasn't got the hunger, then he should just quit. It's not fair on Everton. And I was like, who the fuck are you? Who are you? First of all, to say to someone, who's anyone, to say, because he scored 70 goals a few years ago and he's had a bit of a tough run and he isn't the like focal point of a team anymore, and he's actually playing for Everton, who are rubbish. That means he doesn't like it anymore. You should walk away.
Yeah, doesn't have the hunger.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, you can't know without basically being a close person in his life. Like, you can't know what he does. Yeah. What's the point in having that conversation?
Unless he's clearly stated, I'm not really fit. Which he might, like, he might. So be it. But like, it blows my mind. Anyway, sorry, tangent. Midfield. I mean, love this midfield. This is a ChrisMD midfield,
Nice.
if ever I've seen
It is,
one.
isn't it?
This is my favourite part of the team. Not sure really how they would work. I don't know how you get the ball back.
It's not very
but that's not
defensive.
important. That is not important. Let's start off with another Arsenal name, because I'm intrigued to know about how you feel about this guy. Tell me about him.
So Cesc Fabregas was probably my first name. He was probably my first name in the team, to be honest. As a kid, he was the player I was most like. He was the player that was like amazing at Arsenal as I was, like growing up and idolising a player. Yeah, midfielder, grew up at Arsenal, scored some amazing goals. Just like, isn't a player that you would say has flair, but like back in the day, just some of the stuff he used to do, some of the vision he used to do on a football pitch was just unbelievable. I actually filmed with him once as well, and he was lovely again, which helps. Still love him. Still loved him even after we went to Chelsea. Still love him to this day.
So what position did you play growing up?
I sort of changed. So I was a striker initially. Then the offside rule came in, and I had no pace because I was tiny. There was a couple of years where I was literally half the height of kids that would play with me. Like, I just did not grow for a few years.
Oh, really?
So I had to.
What years were that? Was it year 8, year 9? I had that. I had year 8, year 9. Everyone shot up.
Year 8, year 9 was it? Yeah, probably was around that year. And then after that, I eventually slowly caught up. But I had to drop back into the number 10 role, where you don't have to be too physical and you can just play passes to people that are taller and faster than you.
Yeah, nice.
My dad was the coach in my team, so that sort of helped to keep my position in the team. So I could sort of play with
useful,
the lack of defensive responsibilities, and number 10 really went well for me. And then
you are the stereotype, aren't you? Tiny guy can't really contribute, and he's number 10.
Yeah, but technically, but Spain would pick him. So there you go.
Yeah, true.
And now I've sort of moved up again. Now I've like caught up with everyone in terms of pace and stuff. I do play further forward now. But Fabregas was the one that I tried to play like.
Is he your first hero?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Because I think that it was still probably at a time where obviously he came through that Barcelona generation, but he wasn't at Barcelona. He was at Arsenal, where you'd had Vieira and generally midfielders that were sort of hard and like just smash people about but were good on the ball as well. But it wasn't really about that first and foremost. And Fabregas, I thought that was amazing about him, because he like came through as a, what was he, 16, like 17 when he was started to get his first
playing
few
into
games.
the Invincibles team basically, wasn't he?
Yeah, so for him to be starting at that age. And I remember him he got the captaincy, didn't he? 2008, he got he was named a successor to William Gallas as club captain, because William was busy sitting on the
William Gallas having the number 10 role, having the number 10 shirt, is one of the most incredible things I think football has produced over the years.
Where do you sit on numbers? I have quite strong feelings on certain numbers. I think I would never wear the number 3. I think it makes me look fat.
No, that is mental. Okay, I'm not.
Not that bad.
I don't think you should condone that sort of mental thinking.
No, I know it's terrible, but yeah, but also players in certain positions. Do you always want a 1 to 11? Was that important to you, or were you after like a 74 or whatever it was?
No. Okay. I wanted a 9 or 10 every time I played. Okay. Yeah, maybe an 11. I dabble with 11 sometimes, but not happily.
Yeah. And it's interesting with Fabregas. I think there'll be your generation would always go to Fabregas. I wonder if because he didn't the trophies weren't sort of aligned with him, that he kind of would get forgotten in a lot of conversations for us.
Yeah. I think he would. He's definitely one of the best Arsenal players ever.
8 years at Arsenal, 212 games, 35 goals. Yeah, played in that number 4, but he started to play as a bit of a number 10. Felt like there was a lot on his shoulders.
He did. He moved forward.
Felt like there was a lot on his shoulders, and it kind of got to a point where he's like, okay, the rest of the team's not really up to it here. Because you had a couple of seasons where you were good and you were kind of looking like you might be able to win a league or get close, but then felt like the rest of the team wilted a bit, didn't it?
We had the season where the Eduardo challenge happened, and if we won that game, I feel like we would have gone, I think it was 8 points clear. And that just that was the season where we had Adebayor was playing amazingly, Fabregas playing amazing. Like, it was him and Flamini. Somehow a midfield of Flamini was working for us as a title-winning team. But and it just went downhill from that. Felt like the season that we should have won. But it was a frustrating time. We had a lot of third place finishes that were only 5 points off the title or something like that.
Yeah, and played beautiful stuff actually at time.
Yeah,
played some really good stuff.
And it just, it really felt like we were always just like one player, or like there was a period where Van Persie and Fabregas would every season one of them would get like a 6-month injury, and that just like it just felt like, oh come on, if we can just get like a bit of luck, we'll get it. And it just
better. It was, I guess, a better depth maybe. And there was always like, I mean, there was a 15-year period of people going, just need a DM, don't they? They just need a DM.
Yeah.
That's always the thing.
Yeah, and we had Abu Diaby, who could have been like the best midfielder of the Premier League potentially, and just never managed to shake his injuries.
God,
it's just horrible.
So many names like that. Fascinating. Okay, next in your midfield, where do you want to go next? 2 unbelievable set piece takers. Where do you want to go in your midfield? Yeah, we can chat about both of those together if you want.
I'll go Matt Le Tissier first. I don't quite understand. So, did he play for England ever? I don't know if you know.
So he had. Yes, he did. There was a time when
he was before my time. Like I never watched him play. Yeah. It's just a player I watched.
He had this time with like England B. There was this thing called England B. And they often played at like Loftus Road at QPR's ground, so that's why I was kind of aware of it. And there was a game, I think, and he scored both goals, and it was like, why is he not in the squad? And then he got into the squad, the England squad. But it was at a time where there was so many good England strikers. There was like Fowler, because Fowler was never really a starter for us. You had Fowler, Cole, Les Ferdinand, Sheringham, Ian Wright, Shearer. Dion Dublin, if you want to chuck him in there. So all these different people, and Letis struggling a little bit. But I think it was, I'd say it was like 1997, he got the chance, and he played in a qualifying game against Italy, really big one, and he did nothing really. And Hoddle, who was like seen as like similar player to Le Tissier, surely you must love him. He kind of like bombed him out after that, so he didn't really play for England much after that. He also, a bit like Ward Prowse, I think he struggles with the fact that he was at Southampton, so people didn't really give him the credit, and he was bloody lazy. He was really, really lazy. But he scored. Really? But it's on that same theme for you, isn't it? He scored some goals.
In terms of like a show reel, his top 10 goals are like some of the greatest you're going to see. Like some of the goals he's quite similar to Bergkamp as a player if you just watch him. Bergkamp almost made my list actually, as honorable mention to him. But like he's just like, I like players that score goals with like some really nice touches, like pluck it out the sky, keep it in the air. Like Bergkamp's one against Leicester, I think. Do you know the one I'm talking about? Like comes over, he takes it left footed, like keeps it up. It's like part of a hat trick against Leicester.
Yeah, I think it might be new.
No, I'm sure it's Leicester. Sure, it's Leicester. It's a hat trick against Leicester.
Oh, okay.
Penalty taker, incredible as well. But I would say, in terms of top 10 goals, just has some ridiculous, like long range goals. He's got that free kick that when was passed back to him and he flicks it up, hits the top corner. That's just such a great goal. Yeah, I love little different goals like that and stuff. He almost didn't make this list because he sort of lost his mind on Twitter in the last few years.
I was like, when I was looking at him, I was like, oh, I should give him a little Google. And instead of just going straight to his Wikipedia, I went, I'm going to click on news. Let's have a look. And so, he's an anti-vaxxer, it seems. Bless him.
He's lost his mind a bit. But, his goals, he's still got a great right foot,
and that's why he's in the 11. Who else who's your third midfielder?
My third midfielder is David Beckham. It's quite an easy one for me personally. As an England fan, he's just the player that you tried to, emulate with celebrations after the Greece goal. Like I remember jumping, doing a fist pump, and then the arms out. That was just the celebration that everyone did, as a kid. So he has to be in there without even talking about his football ability.
Yeah, I think the thing I would ask about Beckham to you is the technique of him, because I think there's like you kick the ball quite similar to him at times, don't you? Is that like? Is that sort of osmosis to a point, or why is that? Because you do a little, probably not to the same extreme as him, but
he does the arm. I don't do the arm. Yeah. Like I'm sometimes I look at my technique when I kick the ball and I'm like, that doesn't look right. Like I really bend over quite a lot. If you get like a screenshot of me kicking the ball, it looks horrible. Beckham looks a lot more. I don't know.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, so like he sort of winds up with that left arm, whereas you maybe like you sort of like crouch down.
I'm more like a Ward Prowse sort of.
Yes,
over the ball.
But I think Ward Prowse is similar, isn't he? Ward Prowse, there's elements. I think you can see, even if it's like 5-10%, you can see the way that Ward Prowse hits the ball. I'm talking more with the feet and the ankles and that element of it.
Yeah.
That's what I see
the left ankle is the one that you plant and then you kick with that, and the left one sort of goes across. Like, it's because I think it's when you're coming really like a right angle onto hitting a free kick, and your foot has to do that to get like the whip and stuff. So yeah, definitely some inspiration there. Yeah,
because I think, obviously if you think of the different styles of different free kick takers, Letitia had his way, which was he was a bit more sort of side footy, but then like say someone like
there were.
You had like Pirlo or Janino, and theirs is hitting the top of the ball, isn't it?
Yeah, Janino could do everything, literally everything. There's also Del Piero. Del Piero used to hit them very side-footed, but like he would hit them with topspin as well and curl and come down really nicely. But yeah, there's different tech. Beckham's much more curl. He never hit them with topspin. No. Like De Bruyne is probably the best example of the topspin one these days. I think he's very underrated as a free kick taker. Like every time he takes one, it's on target or it's incredibly close. Beckham definitely had the curl. I don't know if like.
What's your favourite thing about Beckham then? Is it more the sort of England career, or is it more the free kicks and the way he struck the ball?
It's probably it's the moments for England. Like penalty against Argentina, the free kick against Greece. Just slight tangent. Now that they put a man under the wall and the wall jumps, most top teams will put a man under the wall to allow the wall to jump and get an extra foot on the wall. I actually think Beckham would not do as well these days because walls never used to, or like, I feel like walls didn't used to jump as much. I could just be totally waffling, but I feel like the top spin free kicks these days, because the walls generally, every person in the wall jumps. Like, back in the day, I feel like you'd get half the wall jumping or you wouldn't jump most of the time. But now you can, and you don't have to worry about them going under the wall. I don't know. I feel like the free kick's slightly changed, and that most people do the top spin these days. It gives you a bit more.
I would defend Bex for a second there, because I would say that in terms of being able to hit those close range ones, the ones that are sort of like 20, 22 yards instead of the 25, 27 yards. I think he
don't get close
to
the wall anyway. Yeah.
He was able to get it up and down. I've never seen
you're probably right.
He does. But let's know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think he'd be all right? That's a good point, actually, because everyone's about 8 foot now. Right, front three. Great front three. What I'm not sure of is who's playing centre forward, who's on the right, who's on the left. You will have to decide.
Yeah, I feel like it's not really going to work on paper,
it can be fluent, because if I could because I would go the way I wrote it down. So I'm going to say your front three for you then. So front three is, I'm going to say, it's tough actually.
I think you've got to go.
Go on. If you got it.
I think you've got to go. I think you've got to go Messi at centre forward, and then Rooney and Henry as two strikers.
Okay.
Personally.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, like what? Like a little diamond, or are they wide?
Yeah. Like Messi is like a cam sort of thing, and they're two ahead of him. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, that works. That's okay. Yeah, because I'm trying. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, nice. Sort of like false nine. Rooney on the right, Henry on the left. Yeah, I like that. I like that. That works. Yeah. That works. That's nice.
That would be nice.
Okay, talk to me about those three players then, and why you love them.
All right, I'll start off with Rooney. Rooney, I feel like, is a player that's slightly slept on these days in terms of how good he was, because he was a really weird example of a footballer's career, because realistically he hit his peak at age 19, 20, when I don't know how old he was at like Euro 2004, those first few years at United, but that's when it felt like he was the most scary to defenders. I don't know if you've seen the Rooney documentary, but it's actually really good.
Yeah,
on Amazon did read. And like just watching back his goals and like how he used to play, he was just unstoppable at times. How physical he was, like how powerful he was. And again, being an England fan growing up, like he was a player that you look at and just idolize everything he does. Like he was just brilliant.
Do you know, it comes back to what you're saying, Chris, about players being allowed to be raw. Like he was, and I think he calmed down a little bit, and then just became that central striker and scored those goals. But in that, when you talk about that, the sort of his ferocity, the fact that he was a live wire, and from the doc, he says he wants to play on the edge. He just did what he wanted to do. Like, and we watched the highlights of the France game in Euro 2004, and he just absolutely bullies Lilian Thuram. There's no. I think it's that freedom and lack of fit. He was completely fearless and devastating at the same time. He had the ability.
yeah, it's almost like a lack of respect for the opponents. It's like he just clearly did not care. He didn't do any research he was playing against. He just thought, I'm going to beat whoever this defender is every time.
It's strange because it was fleeting, but he's also got the records. So it's kind of...
No, he does, and I'm not saying, I'm not saying that he didn't, like, you know, he wasn't incredible for the rest of his career, but I feel like he went up and then stayed there.
Yeah.
And like, you know, obviously you expect attackers to peak 26, 27, don't you?
Yeah, and I guess when you're with better players, maybe that England team was kind of a bit hesitant, didn't have the chemistry, didn't have the sort of passing patterns, and so you needed someone to give it to and just go, okay, you go. Whereas with Man United, it was, you know, you had Ronaldo and Tevez and all those players that you kind of played more of a sort of a team role, and he was willing to do it as well. Because I guess that's the difference. Is England, it was like, can you do this for us? Whereas Man United, it was, for a few years at least, it was, you know, you need to sort of be a bit, sacrifice yourself a little bit for the Ronaldos.
Yeah, for Ronaldo.
Yeah. Let's do Messi last. Thierry Henry.
I mean, yeah, he was probably the player, like, the first... Actually, yeah, you're talking about heroes. He was before Fabregas, obviously. I mean, there's just so many different moments I don't even know where to start. The goals he scored, you know, like the Liverpool goal, going past Carragher and Coman and putting it in, the Spurs goal, like running the length of the pitch, those goals are just, they're just amazing. And then when he came back and the goal against Leeds in the FA Cup for his second spell with Arsenal, like that was just such an amazing moment at the Emirates, you know, having this basically Arsenal's best ever player coming back and getting one more goal from him. Even though he scored quite a few goals actually when he came back. I remember he scored one against Sunderland in like the last minute. Just the GOAT of Arsenal Football Club, really.
And yeah, so attractive as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, so elegant, like, I know what beautiful, you mean. Like, he's like a deer, like, but not like a, you know, when people say deer, they go, oh, he's, you know, Bambi on ice. He was just like this, so elegant and quick and just so good.
Because he doesn't look like he should be. Yeah, like you say, elegant with the ball because he's 6 foot whatever, you know, quite a strong player. And like his touch, like there's some, I don't know if you've ever seen the clip of him against Real Madrid. There's a clip where like he's literally, it's when we're 1-0 up at the Bernabeu. It's quite late in his Arsenal career. He's literally just like ambling down the line. I feel like it's Sergio Ramos just flies in. He like touches it. He doesn't look like he's even trying. Someone else comes in, tries to like get the ball off him. And he sort of just bodies them, gets a throw in. And it literally looks like he's just playing down at the park. It's just, he's one of those people that sort of like, I don't know, the personality, it's like football folklore.
Total package. Yeah, total package.
Yeah.
And, the kits really suited him, but also I think it was during the time where there were these like Nike Vapor boots, these really slender boots.
Yeah.
And he looked great in them. Like his feet look really like almost like they're like ballet shoes. I know what you're talking about.
In the same way that Rooney really suited Total 90s. Like it was just made to be.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, that's got a blocky boot, wasn't it? Yeah,
a blocky, like really big laces.
I hated those.
Whack balls with.
Yeah,
really, I loved them. I meant to say this. There was one Matt Letizia was in that. I met him in a Guernsey football tournament because I was obviously grew up in Jersey and Matt came from Guernsey. Letizia came from Jersey. Letizia is a very Guernsey name. And he was in the stands at like a football tournament once. And me and some mates were like, obviously we were like, yeah, that's Matt Letizia, And there was one kid in my group who was like, I want to be the one to ask him. Like, I want to ask him to sign my boots. And he went up and he didn't know who Matt Letizia was. So he went up to him and asked the guy next to him, can you sign my boots, please? Without knowing that this was just some like fat balding man and not actually the footballer who we wanted to sign our boots. But eventually, like I got Total 90s signed on the front by Matt Letizia. And then I think my mum washed them in the end and took the signature off. And I was like, awful.
Oh, mate. And so last on Lionel Messi, obvious choice, good choice. Perfect choice for you and your team. You know, the way that you play the game. You've got Messi vibes yourself. Why Lionel? It's almost a stupid question, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of footballers past and present that I've seen footage of, there's no player that I look at and I enjoy watching as much as Messi. Just the stuff he does on a football pitch is stupid. Like the way he has this low center of gravity, the way that he feints, the way that he just can dribble past. It's actually really sad to see now because he clearly doesn't have the turn of pace. He's still got the ability, but he just doesn't have the pace. Like he can still get past one defender, but he can't do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like he used to.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the way that he plays. Like I've always said it confuses your eyes when you watch him. So you're expecting him to dribble a certain way, and you're just like, the hell? Like it like tricks the mind, and you're like, how has he managed to move his body in that direction? He's just the most incredible footballer I've ever seen.
Yeah, outrage. You're right. And often I see that with passes. You go, what is he trying? Oh, and I love seeing that. But when it's dribbling, I'm like, I can't see how you could get out of that. And he did it.
And it's just like, it's almost like you think maybe his brain just works at like a higher speed, because he must be really intelligent to see all these different, like Trent Alexander-Arnold. We were doing a thing with him a little while ago with Red Bull, where they were training him to do all of these vision things. So he was doing like peripheral, and he'd be training with this top scientist that works with baseball athletes, and like getting him to work with this peripheral and moving sort of different colored objects and stuff. And like, I wonder if Messi has like some amazing part of his brain that helps him to do that, so he can see defenders. And yeah, it's just crazy, isn't it? Really?
It's sad we're kind of getting near the end now, and it's also like
it is.
I haven't seen him live, and I really regret that. I really
regret
that. Yeah, I've not seen him.
I saw him once.
Really?
Yeah, I saw him once against us at the Emirates. He beat us. He scored both goals.
Oh, he was amazing, wasn't he? Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Right. So your team is complete. It's a good team. I like the second half of it more than the first half, I'll be honest, mate.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff, mate. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it, mate. Your videos are absolute fire as well.
Thank you.
I nearly did one, didn't I? I'm kind of pleased I stayed away from it, to be honest.
Yeah, actually, Which one was that?
It was the one where it's like, and all you got to do is you win this amount of money. But if you lose, you've got to get a tattattoo on your forehead or whatever.
I almost asked you to do the when we had 50
one,
1v1s against. No.
We
almost did. I almost asked you to do the 50 1v1s versus Truce de Kong, the Watford defender.
God, I dodged a bullet there then.
You picked the right guy. That was a tough day. I'll be honest.
Yeah, mate. I can't dribble. So, yeah, that's a good decision. Pick someone else for that. Anyway, mate, of course, if for some bizarre reason you haven't checked out Chris's channel, make sure you do. It's absolutely amazing. And you're a bloody good lad as well. Thank you for doing this, mate. Really, really appreciate it. Guys, if you haven't checked out the other episodes of the Dream Teams, make sure you do. We've had some amazing people. Ben Foster, Lothar Matthäus, Emmanuel Petit, Mark Goldbridge, Rory, and loads of others that I'm forgetting as well. So make sure you check them out. If you enjoyed this one, hit the like button. Let me know who you want on next. And I'll see you next time.